Jack Lord was the tough, no-nonsense star of Hawaii 5. His steely gaze and commanding presence made him a TV legend, but behind the iconic role of Steve McGarrett was a private life full of love, mystery, and ultimately heartbreak. From his once glamorous home being left empty to the tragic last years of his life, Jack Lord's story is as interesting as any crime drama. What happened to his money? How did his beloved wife Marie carry on after his death? And why was his legacy almost forgotten? Stay tuned as we explore these questions and more. Find out what really happened in Jack Lord's last days, what his estate was like, and what he left behind. Jack Lord didn't become famous overnight. He's best known for playing the tough and commanding Steve McGarrett on Hawaii 5, but his rise to fame wasn't an overnight thing. Before the show made him famous, Jack had been working hard in Hollywood for over 10 years. When Hawaii 5 came out in 1968, it was the big break he had been waiting for. Sending him to Jack became a superstar after years of hard work. His career began in the early 1950s with roles on Broadway, then moved on to film and TV after Hawaii 5. Once he became famous, he didn't just stop acting. He also started writing and directing, showing how creative he was. But despite all of his professional success, Jack was missing one thing: a child to carry on his legacy. Born on December 30, 1920, in Brooklyn, New York, Jack grew up in a working-class family. His father ran a freighting business, and Jack often helped out after school. This taught him a strong work ethic early on. At the same time, he had a deep love for painting, especially capturing the beauty of the sea. This love led him to the Fort Trumbull U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, where he studied maritime science and dedicated himself to life on the water before his dramatic turn toward Hollywood. After finishing his studies at the Fort Trumbull U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, Lord's first passion was the sea. The Fort Trumbull U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, Jack Lord built service bridges in Persia and worked on transport ships across Europe during World War II. When the war ended, he went back to Fort Trumbull and started making training films, which was his first experience with movies. It didn't take him long to realize that acting was his true calling, which put him on the path to Hollywood. Jack's rise to fame wasn't easy. He had to work hard for years before he finally reached the top. He finally achieved the success he had always wanted, but it came with a price. By the time he became famous, Jack had become very private and rarely talked about his past. One of the main reasons he didn't talk about it was the tragic death of his first wife and their only son, which he carried with him for the rest of his life. Even though Jack wouldn't talk about it, his loyal fans have been able to piece together much of his life before fame. Before Hawaii 5, Jack was married, which he tried to hide. Once Jack Lord became famous, the truth about his first wife and only son came out thanks to tabloid reports. Jack Lord was very private about his past and wouldn't talk about certain parts of his early life in public. As a result, many details about his first marriage and the child he fathered are still unknown. What is known is that his first wife was a woman named Anne Willard, and that they met on a cruise ship while Jack was working and Anne was on duty. Jack, who was enchanted by Anne's beauty, and Anne, who couldn't say no to a man in uniform, fell in love with each other right away. Their quick romance quickly turned into marriage, but the exact date is still unknown. Some sources say they got married in 1942, while others say it was 1944. Some even say they said their vows on the cruise ship where they first met, with the captain officiating the ceremony. Anne Willard was born in Paris in 1921 and was the daughter of a Brooklyn-born civil engineer, which may have made her feel even closer to Jack, who was also from Brooklyn. Maybe she saw something familiar and comforting in him. But despite their initial connection, their marriage would not be the fairy tale she may have hoped for. A couple of things happened between Jack and Anne. Not long after Jack Lord married his first wife, Anne Willard Duddy, he had to leave her behind and while he was gone, Anne sent word that she was pregnant. Anne couldn't be there, so she went back to France to live with her parents, who could help her through the pregnancy. When their son was born, she named him after his father. But as time went on, Anne got frustrated with how little Jack visited his new family. Jack is said to have only seen his son once, making Anne feel abandoned. She eventually asked for a divorce, mentioning the possibility in a letter she sent to Jack when she first told him she was pregnant and planning to move back to France, while Jack planned to stay in when they got back to the U.S. After the war, Anne didn't want to raise her child there. It's possible that Jack didn't do more to be involved in his son's life because he could tell Anne wasn't sure about their marriage. This was a choice he would deeply regret years later, when his son tragically died just before his 13th birthday. No one knows for sure how Jack's son died, just like no one knows the exact details of his marriage to Anne Willard. Some people think that son died because he had been sick for a long time and that he died at age 12 because of his ongoing health problems. Others think that he may have drowned. However, the most popular theory is that he died from hepatitis. There are records that show he was hospitalized with the illness shortly before he died, but no official documents confirm that this was the cause of death. To add to the mystery, strong hurricanes hit the area where he and his mother lived around the time of his death. Several people died, and Jack Lord lost his only child. He never had another. Despite the heartbreaking loss, Jack and Anne eventually moved on and got married again. It's interesting that Anne later moved to the United States with her new husband, even though she had resisted the idea when she was married to Jack. She stayed with her second husband until her death in 2004. Even though she was happily remarried for many years, she never had another child. Jack Lord was strange in a good way. Jack Lord became famous for playing Steve McGarrett on Hawaii 5, but behind the scenes, his co-stars often made fun of his strange habits on set. For example, Cam Fong, who played Detective Chin-Ho Kelly, once said that Lord had a strange way of relaxing between takes. He would stand in a corner and listen to classical music. Fong also said that the cast and crew often had to wait for Lord because he insisted on taking a shower before filming any scenes. James MacArthur, who played Detective Danny Williams, agreed. MacArthur said that Lord was very careful, especially when it came to his appearance. Lord would spend an unusually long time in the makeup chair, making sure that every strand of hair was perfectly in place before going on camera. Despite his co-stars making fun of him, Lord was known for being very professional. He always came to work prepared and spent hours practicing his lines and improving his performance as his character. His hard work paid off as Hawaii 5 became one of the most famous TV show of its time, earning Lord a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and cementing his place in TV history. Lord's career spanned several decades, with parts in many TV shows and movies. He died of congestive heart failure in 1998, but his performances and lasting impact on the entertainment industry live on through his unforgettable roles. Lord was also known for his deeply private personal life, especially his devoted relationship with actress Elizabeth Taylor. Jack Lord had a bad first marriage, but his life got better when he met and married Marie Dinard, a successful fashion designer and independently wealthy businesswoman. Marie became his lifelong partner, giving him love, stability, and unwavering support. Like the rest of Lord's personal life, the details of how they met have been the subject of speculation. But Marie once told journalist Robert Martin about their love story. Smith talking about the fateful meeting that changed both of their lives at the time. Lord was a keen photographer who was visiting his brother in upstate New York. While exploring the countryside, he came across a beautiful stone house that immediately captivated him and made him want to buy it. He tried to get in touch with the owner, Marie Dinard, but she was in her Manhattan apartment, and most of his letters and calls went unanswered. But Lord was persistent. In one of his letters he wrote, "Well, madame, I'm a sailor. I've never written a letter, but I've spent all of my leave trying to reach you." Marie didn't want to sell the house, but she finally agreed to meet him. When she opened the door and saw the tall, broad-chested man standing there, she was instantly drawn to him. They talked for hours that day, and soon they were in love, even though Marie was 15 years older and had her own money. Lord was sure she was the one for him. Soon, he decided to ask her to marry him. He was going to do it over dinner at El Faro, a Spanish restaurant in Greenwich Village. While he waited with a martini, Marie arrived, but just as he was about to ask her, actor Jack Elam walked in, clapped him on the back, and started talking. The conversation took an unexpected turn when Marie said she was planning a trip to Spain. When they were alone again, Lord seized the moment and told her he wanted to move to the West Coast and asked if she would come with him. He told her right away that he was proposing, and she said, "Then I accept." According to biographer Virginia Tolas, the couple got married on January 17, 1949, and moved into Marie's New York apartment that same week. Instead of celebrating their wedding anniversary, they chose to remember the day they met, because they thought that was when their lives really began together. Marie quickly became the most important person in Lord's life, his constant companion, and even though she had a successful career on her own, she chose to give it up to care for him and help him achieve his own success. Lord's co-stars often commented on how much Marie loved him, and he never shied away from telling her how much he admired her. He would often praise her beauty, cooking, and housekeeping skills, and he would beam with pride and say, "Meeting her made all the difference. I might have sailed on merchant ships for the rest of my life." Marie helped Lord break bad habits and stay focused, making him into the man he wanted to be. When he thought about their life together, he once said, "I think my whole life has been an effort to become the man she thought I was." Jack and Marie's changing views on having kids. Jack Lord loved kids very much. His longtime co-star Cam Fong once said that whenever Lord was around kids, the usually quiet and strict actor became very animated. Despite this natural connection, Lord and his wife Marie Dinard decided early on in their marriage not to have children. They wanted to focus on building Lord's career, and they did just that. But as his success grew, it seems they changed their minds and started talking about having children. But fate had other plans. Some sources say Marie may have had a miscarriage at some point, though they were disappointed. Even though they didn't have any children, they stayed committed to each other and focused on Lord's career. Their marriage was strong and long, lasting, and they had a deep bond after being together for 49 years. Marie was always there for Lord, and he never took her love for granted, always appreciating the life they built together. After Hawaii 50 ended in 1980, Jack Lord and Marie Dinard retired and spent their time doing good deeds and enjoying simple things that brought them peace and joy. Many fans were wondering what happened to the famous TV star. In reality, the couple had settled into a quiet life at their beach-front home in Hawaii. They valued their privacy so much that only one paparazzi photo of them has ever been released over the years. The press mostly respected their desire to stay out of the spotlight. Marie stayed devoted to Jack even as the years went by. Former co-workers from Hawaii 5 remembered how fiercely she protected his privacy. According to her friends, even when she was having trouble walking, she would still go to his door and close it to keep other people from seeing him. Even though they were trying to avoid fame, Jack found happiness in their quiet life together. He spent his last years at the beach with Marie and writing love poems to her in the sand. They didn't regret anything and enjoyed the simple beauty of their days together. In the 1980s, Marie Dinard lied about being sick to protect Jack. As rumors about Jack's health started to spread, Marie remained fiercely protective of her husband. There were rumors that Jack was forgetting names of people he used to know, and some people said they often saw the hangman's star sitting in the same place near a local shopping mall, seemingly unaware of his surroundings. There were even reports that he looked lost in public, and Marie was said to have started paying people to bring him home. However, no matter how many stories came out, Marie would not let go of her husband. Even when Jack's Hawaii 5 co-star James MacArthur visited Hawaii and had lunch with Marie, Jack refused to join them. When MacArthur asked about him, Marie insisted that her husband was fine, but as the years went by, rumors spread that he was fighting Alzheimer's. Despite the growing rumors, Marie never gave up on her goal of keeping Jack out of the public eye. She thought that his health problems were their private battle, and she wouldn't let anyone else see them. The world see him in a weak state. She cared for him diligently, just as she always had until the very end. Many people still don't understand why Marie was so determined to keep Jack's condition a secret. Author Sylvia D. Lynch, in her book Jack Lord and Acting Life, said that it was part of being a celebrity. People seem to think that celebrities shouldn't have any flaws or mistakes, and Jack Lord was no different. Maybe it's just a refusal to see Jack Lord as anything else. Steve McGarrett and Marie's commitment to keeping Jack's memory alive. On January 21, 1998, Jack Lord died at his home in Honolulu at the age of 77. Marie, his loving wife of 49 years, spoke out about her husband and the life they had built together in a heartfelt statement. Jack loved acting, and he loved these islands through all his years. He was blessed with kindness, affection, and the support of many fans and friends. He always appreciated that and never forgot it. She thanked everyone who had been a part of his life, mentioning the impact of Hawaii 5 and their deep love for the islands they had called home during all his years. He was lucky to have the love, support, and kindness of many fans and friends. He always appreciated that and never forgot it. In line with his wishes, Jack's ashes were scattered in the Hawaiian waters he loved so much. Friends, former co-stars, and Marie herself paid tribute to him, remembering how warm he was, how he always smiled, and how Marie remained dedicated to honoring Jack's memory until she passed away on October 13, 2005, at the age of 100. Net worth: Jack Lord, best known for his role as Steve McGarrett on Hawaii 50, was not only a famous actor, but also a successful artist, philanthropist, and investor. At the time of his death in 1998, his net worth was estimated at $40 million, which is about $60 million today. Lord and his wife Marie lived a modest life despite their wealth. The Jack and Marie Lords were very wealthy and gave a lot of their money to good causes in Hawaii. The Hawaii Community Foundation set up the Jack and Marie Lord Fund, which continues to support many local groups, such as the Honolulu Academy of Arts and many Hawaiian schools. Their donations have paid for everything from art education programs to medical research at local hospitals. The Lords were especially interested in supporting Hawaiian culture and arts, and they made big contributions to keep traditional Hawaiian crafts alive. Their generosity has had a lasting effect on Hawaii's cultural and educational landscape, with many institutions benefiting from their giving. Jack and Marie Lord lived in a luxurious 3,500-square-foot condo at the prestigious Kahala Beach Apartments in Honolulu, Hawaii. They bought the home in 1970, once Hawaii 50 was a sure thing, and it stayed their main home for decades. The apartment had a lot of living space, including a huge living room. The house had a living room, a dining area, a large kitchen, 2 master suites, 2 additional bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and 2 lanais with stunning views of the ocean. The decor was a stunning example of mid-century modern design, with walls painted in crisp white and accented by avocado green carpeting, which was popular in the 1970s. The Lords added their love of warm colors to the space, especially in the kitchen, which had pumpkin colored cabinets because Marie didn't like clean kitchens. The living room was the stylish and comfortable living room, had a white sectional sofa that curled at a right angle, a coffee table with a marble top, and sleek low-back chairs with Danish modern legs. The walls were covered with art, including Jack's own maritime and Hawaiian landscape paintings, as well as works by famous artists like Paul Gogh and Jean Charlot. The Lord's home was also used for business purposes, as they owned other units in the Kahala Beach complex. Apartments, some of which they rented out, and one that served as office space for Lord and Lady Enterprises, Inc. Marie, who was in charge of Jack's career and public image, spent a lot of time running their business from this space after Marie died in 2005 at the age of 100. When their beloved condo went on the market, it was first listed for $2 million, with some reports saying it was worth $2.8 million, but it took a long time to sell and finally did in March 2008 for $800,000. Even though the price dropped, the house was still sold. Jack and Marie Lord's dedication to Hawaii lives on through the charitable foundation they set up, which continues to support many local causes. That's all for today's video. Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay updated on new content. We hope you found this story interesting. See you in the next video. Goodbye.